Jeffrey Epstein Fund abruptly halts payouts to victims. These seem to be the people in control of the estate and making the decisions. Estate attorney Daniel Weiner said in an email that the payouts since June are a measure of the program's remarkable efficiency in hearing and issuing determinations for the benefit of scores of claimants. And Jordi Feldman, the fund's administrator, said the suspension of payouts was necessary to protect those who have not yet resolved their claims. Isn't that guy who didn't kill himself? Civil forfeiture, seize it all. Make them sure to regain control. So I don't understand, why doesn't the federal government just take over all their assets and complete the payouts on their own? More funny business. Time to start making some more arrests. I'm happy this is news. I'm sad I'm not surprised. Here is an EL15 question. What is his estate? He's dead, isn't he? With no official children. I'm aware numerous people are claiming to be his offspring, but none are proven. Who's giving the orders to keep fighting this? Why not just pay off the victims and be done with it? Admittedly, I know nothing about law. It can't be that they're letting the funds mature. Who is surprised? I hate seeing this guy's gross face. He wasn't in prison long enough to lose his stupid tan. Jeffrey Epstein managed to molest these women from the grave. Translation: rich people want their payout first. Israel needs to test their apartheid-guided munitions. We can condemn prisoners to literal slavery for the duration of their sentences, but we can't liquidate a dead billionaire paedophile rapist's estate. What a world. So was this fund essentially hush money? These rich parasites buying their way out of their crimes yet again. Authorities have determined that the payments hung themselves in their highly monitored jail cells. Man, look at the lines on his face. He hasn't aged well in the afterlife. Someone is going to keep that money that runs the program. I don't know why I got this feeling that the orange turd put his name in as a victim as well. Reminder that our previous president was friends with this man for decades and allowed him and Ghislaine to pray at Mar-a-Lago. Yet another example of Epstein and Premature being in the same fort. All billionaires gotta go. It's being diverted to Trump's impeachment defense. I think it is time we take the executors of the Epstein estate to the island to give them a hands-on lesson about why it is so important that the victims receive compensation. And by the way, he either didn't kill himself or he's not really dead. Watch what they do, not what they say. All government, corporations and religious institutions are corrupt. If they're trying to sell, why don't they tell the media what's to be sold? I bet they'd find folks who'd want to buy. Would you say his victims got stiffed? Oh, wow. I'll show myself out. When hedge funds need money to fund their losses. Oops. My office's worst fears that the child sex abuser money train will end have been realised. Worse than the devil. What a bunch of egg-shaped poppycock. They probably got hung up in the red tape. The world should be outraged by this. Just goes to show the rich hold little accountability yet live far beyond the law. Oh boy, time to audit the Epstein estate. It seems really messed up. How are they only getting 50 mil? His entire fortune was made off the backs of blackmail and trafficking. His one house in New York was worth 50 mil by itself. Can't help but think that the will he signed a few days before he was suicided has made it so the victims will never see actual compensation from his estate. I know they're trying to sell off properties. I can't think of anyone who would proudly own a home where Epstein could have had some weird sex dungeon. Child rapists should not be entitled to estates. And people still think it's crazy to assume most politicians/elitists are pedos or know people who abuse children regularly and don't say anything. They sure do love to victimize the victims of sex crimes in this country. The announcement by the Epstein Victims Compensation Program came through a release that attributed the suspension to uncertainty about the liquidity of estate assets needed to finance payouts. Well, looks like they invested in GameStop too. Who killed himself? No article. Epstein did not kill himself. Maybe they shorted GME? But seriously, these bastards have way more money than they're divulging, and this is a bullshit reason. Trump is considering using his lawyer now, just saying. I'm sure his fund needs to pay broke-ass Trump now. Uncertainty about the liquidity of estate assets needed to finance payouts. Someone invested in GME. They lost it all on GameStop. They were trying to log on to make the payments, but the website just hung. That's because he's still alive and shorted GameStop. Money's running dry. You think they got it bad? Imagine being halted in stocks. SMH.